Well, hello everyone. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. I know that I haven't been here for a while, but it's for a great reason, and I'll tell you guys that later. But I want to go ahead and get into this message that God has placed on my heart today. And he told me that he wanted me to go ahead and share it with you guys. So let's go ahead and get right into that. So I'm so excited for this. And I just ask, the Lord to just come into this room, to come into this atmosphere, to be able to share his word with you guys. And share his love with you guys, and that you see his word, that you see him truly exuding from this message, and that you will see him exuding from my lips to you guys, so that you guys are able to receive all that you need to, all of the word that you need to receive for today. I pray that you guys are able to get all of that, all of the nourishment that you need, in Jesus' name. So going right into it, I did a little bit of research with trying to figure out a particular bird that actually leaves the nest. Now I know a lot of birds do that, but there was this one particular bird that they actually call a fledgling. It's a juvenile bird, and during their process, that juvenile process, they actually venture out of the nest, going out to find food and to get themselves acclimated with their new environment. And all the while they're doing this, their parents are not far behind. Their parents are actually always near them. And so the reason why I bring that up is because I want you to know right here and right now that God is always going to be with you. It doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter, the size of your situation. God can conquer. God will and has already conquered that situation. He is with you right here and right now in this very moment. Just like how he was with Abraham when he was moving out of Ur. God told him that he wanted him to move out of Ur and move forward into a completely unknown land. Abram didn't know where he was going. All he knew was that he trusted the Lord, and that he was going to take this opportunity to listen and obey, so that he's able to receive what God had in store for him. Now, with us, we have some issues. We don't necessarily move out of the nest as we should, when we should. There's a lot of different reasons why we don't move out, but a lot of times we hinder ourselves from truly receiving the blessing that God has for us, the promise that he has for us, the purpose that he has for us. A lot of us, we want what God has for us, but we don't want to work for it. A lot of times when we go from preschool and kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade, we have that opportunity to have other experiences, experience our social beings. We're experiencing being around other people. But we have that opportunity to go back home into our comfort zone. And then from 12th grade moving to college, we're experiencing a different environment, a different adventure. We're venturing out. But we have the opportunity to come back home, if that's where we're supposed to be now. Not necessarily being where you are actually at home. You may be in your own apartment, but you're still in that comfort zone of being in that particular location, being surrounded around your family and your friends, your comfort zone. And then if you go this route, you go from high school to college, and then college out into the real world. But let's go back, because I forgot a few things. You have where some people stay in that position where they don't want to leave. They don't want to move outside of their comfort zone. They don't want to move beyond 12th grade. You graduate from high school, but that's it. You revert back to your comfort zone, and that's exactly where you go back to. You decide that I don't want to move forward because it's too much of an unknown, or I didn't get the opportunity to go where I wanted to go, so I'm just going to go back to where I belong, or where you think you belong, or this environment that is familiar. Or you go forward into college, but you don't continue on. You don't graduate. You go ahead and you stop midway, or you stop after your first year, and you say, I can do better than this, or it's too hard for me. I can't do it. I have too many obstacles, in my way that I'm not able to go ahead and pursue. And then we give ourselves excuses, and we ride those excuses as long as we possibly can. And then we put ourselves in a position where we are familiar and we are comfortable. We go back to our familiarity. And that's what gets us caught up each and every time. But as long as we learn how to put one foot in front of the other, then we're able to get to where we're supposed to go. Now, God is telling us, and it doesn't matter where we are in our life, if we are actually coming out of high school and going into college, that's a step that God has told us, okay, I want you to go ahead and go to college so you can get this particular degree, so you are able to go ahead and do this. God is giving you the steps, and He's told you that He wants you to get outside of your comfort zone and go ahead and move forward into college. Or He's telling you to go ahead and move from college. You went ahead and you graduated. Now He wants you to go out. Instead of going back to your hometown, instead of going back to your parents' house, what He wants you to do is go ahead and move forward in a different direction. He wants you to go out into a different state entirely and get a job there, or do whatever He has you to do. He's giving you He's telling you to go different places. He wants you to do this and that and the other. He does not want you to stay stagnant, and that's where a lot of us get it misconstrued. We get it misconstrued in a way where we're like, I have this relationship with God, but He wants me to do everything. And I'm just like, what relationship have you ever been in where you are not doing your part? Any relationship that you are in, you have to do your part. When you're with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend or with your wife or with your husband, you are in a relationship that is a fit. Like, you have to put in your part. You have to do what you need to do in order to make that relationship work. It cannot be 100% on one person. Now, don't get it twisted. This is not to get it twisted that God cannot do anything without us, but He loves that we are in partnership with Him, that we are in relationship with Him, that we're, in order for us to receive all that He has in store for us, we have to put in the effort too. In order for us to get from point A to point B in our lives, we have to, we start out at point A, but in order for us to get to point B, we have to take those necessary steps in between. And a lot of times we don't want to do that. So we revert back to our comfort zone where it makes us comfortable, where it's familiar. So Abram took this opportunity to move forward, to obey, to listen to God. And he went ahead and he moved forward. He stepped outside of his comfort zone into the unknown. He did not know what to expect, but he trusted and he believed in God. And he took what he believed. He took all that God told him to take with him, which is his wife and his belongings. Now, we're not going to get into him taking Lot, but what he did was he obeyed. He took the necessary steps to go where he was supposed to go. And soon he made it to a town called Canaan. And God told Abram that, hey, I'm going to have you be the father of many nations. You're going to have many descendants, and your descendants, from years to come, they are going to possess this land. But you won't see none of that happening. So it's just like, you have this question, like, how does all of this happen where God is telling me to go here, to leave where I'm comfortable, to go to a different country, a different country, to possess land, or to walk into some land that I won't even be able to see, any of it come to fruition. And so this is where it actually comes into play later on in the word, where Moses comes into position, where now Moses is in the position of actually going into the promised land. God is positioning Moses to take over that land, because let's go back to Abraham, or Abram at this time. Abram was given this promise and was told all of these many wonderful things by God, but he wasn't supposed to take it over. So when he made it to Canaan, the Canaanites lived there as well. So he's in a piece of land that he's supposed to be, that he's supposed to have, his descendants are supposed to take over, but he's not going to be there to take, or to see it happen, to see it come into fruition. So years later, God told Moses to go to Egypt, get his people, the Israelites, out of captivity, out of slavery, get them out of there and get them to the promised land. Well, it fell short with Moses, and here you have, fast forwarding a little bit, where God told Moses to have spies go out to look at the land, to see what's going on, to scout it out, to make sure that they have a proper plan together before actually going and attacking and taking over the land. Where here you have 12 spies, 10 come back and they say that is too hard, is too difficult. You have all of these people here, these powerful people. This is the land of the giants. It's impossible. We can't do it. We're not strong enough. Then you have 2, Joshua and Caleb, that say, yes, we can. And because of their obedience and because of their uh, their strength and their courage, God said, okay, we're going to have those two be able to move into the promised land. And unfortunately, a lot of us fall short. We fall short of receiving what God has in store for us because we are afraid. We stay in a position where we do not want to continue moving forward in where God has us to go because we don't want to go through the opposition. We don't want to go through the valleys. We think that we're going to stay on top of the hills, but in order for hills to be created, right, there's a little dip. There's some valleys that take place. You have to go down in order to come back up. You have to go through some oppositions in order for you to receive what God has in store for you. So these are points that I want you to really understand and really hold on to. I want you to listen. I want you to listen like Abraham listened to God, to move from Ur, where he grew up, where everything was normal for him. He left all of that so he can go ahead and move on the promise and what God told him to do. He moved, he listened, he got up. This is the second one. Get up, take action. I also want you to trust in the Lord. I want you to believe in him. I want you to obey him. And I also want you to receive what he has in store for you. In order for you to receive, you have to first listen. You have to listen to what God is telling you. And you have to act on it. You have to get up and you have to start moving. And then you have to trust him. Trust what he's telling you. That's what Abram did at that time. He trusted God and he moved on trust. He took one foot in front of the other, one step after the other, and he moved on faith. He believed in what God was telling him. He believed that he would become the father of many nations, and God changed his name. See, what you don't know is before God changed his name from Abram to Abraham, Abraham made a mistake. And he listened to other people, specifically his wife. He listened to other people. He got off course of where God had him to go because he wanted it to happen quicker. He thought that this was what God was telling him to do, that maybe if he do this, then, maybe if he have a child, because God told him that he's going to have a child. And he thought that at 75, that, he was going to have a child, but, maybe it was supposed to happen a different way. And it wasn't. That wasn't supposed to happen. Ishmael wasn't supposed to happen. But because of what took place, Ishmael was born. And God told Abraham to obey him. Obey him in what he was telling him. I need you to obey me. Even though you made this mistake, that's okay. Because I'm going to turn that into something much better. But moving forward, I need you to obey me. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to what somebody on the side is saying. Listen to me and what I'm telling you. And that's exactly what he did. And in that very moment, God changed Abram's name to Abraham, which means the father of many nations. I want you to know and understand that before you're able to receive what God has in store for you, what you need to do is make sure that you have your armor on. Because like I said, in order for you to, those hills are not formed with just, flat land, but they are formed with valleys in mind. There's opposition that's going to come your way. So you need to make sure that you have your armor on. You need to know that you have armor. You need to know what your armor is, and you need to know how to use your armor. You have to know how to use your armor. God has already given you the tools necessary to be able to step out and step into where He has you to go. He's given you the tools. He's provided you with all that you need. Now you just got to know how to use it. Know that you have it. Know how to use it in order for you to go where you're supposed to go. I want you to also know and understand that even though opposition comes your way, you don't have anything to worry about. Know that God is by your side. He has already defeated the enemy, and the enemy is definitely going to try to attack you more than once. But know and understand that God has already conquered the enemy. He's already taken the keys. Everything is taken care of. The enemy knows how it's going to play out for him. He already knows the end of, of the story. But the question is, do you know? Do you believe that God is taking care of everything for you? You don't have anything to worry about. That God is here with you. He's seeing you through. He's showing you the way. He's providing you the steps. But are you listening? Are you paying attention to what He's showing you in order for you to get to your purpose? You say that you want all of these different things. You say that you want to get out of where you are. But are you ready to take those necessary steps to get there? Because it's not all peaches and cream, but it's an opportunity for you to go deeper and to build your relationship with God the entire way, and to trust Him wholeheartedly without any type of hesitation, trying to revert back to your old ways, to something that is familiar. Once you take a step outside of your comfort zone, don't question it to look back. Continue to move forward in where God has for you to go. In order for you to receive, you first have to listen. I pray that you guys received something from this message. I thank you guys so very much for tuning in. It's such an amazing opportunity to come back and share this with you guys, and to many more to come. Thank you so very much. I thank you so very much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you.